Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. In the previous video, we will discuss the first 8 questions of the exercise chapter number 7. In this video, we will discuss the remaining question of the exercise of chapter number 7, system of particles and the rotational motion. So from the exercise 7.9, we will discuss in this video. So let us start with the exercise 7.9. A car weighs the 1800 kg. The distance between its front and back axle is 1.8 meter. So here the distance between the front and back axle of the car is a 1.8 meter. Its center of gravity is at a 1.05 meter behind the front axle. Determine the force exerted by the level ground on the each front wheel and each back wheel. So let us see the figure. Here the weight of the car is given to you 1800 kg. The distance between the front axle and the back axle is a 1.8 meter. Center of gravity is at a 1.05 meter behind the front axle. So we need to find the force exerted by the level ground on each front wheel and each back wheel. So let us see this figure, a front axle and the back axle. The distance between the front axle and back axle is a 1.8 meter, and the force of the gravity, the weight force W of the car, weight of the car W is equal to mg, that is the 1800 multiplied by 9.8, that is the 17,640 Newton, is at a distance 1.05 meter from the front axle. Now let us consider the force exerted by the level ground on the front axle is a R1 and force exerted by the level ground on the back axle is a R2, that is the normal reaction force. So how we can calculate this normal reaction force? By taking a translational equilibrium condition and a rotational equilibrium condition, right? So here if we consider the translational equilibrium condition, different types of the forces acting on the body. So here the first force R1 on the front axle, second force R2 on the back axle, and the weight force of the car W is in the downward direction at the center of gravity. So if the car is in the translational equilibrium, sigma F is equal to 0. So net force acting on the car is 0. So we can write this R1 and R2. The sum of the R1 and R2, R1 plus R2 is equal to the weight force W. So from the translational equilibrium, we get R1 plus R2 is equal to W. W is equal to mg. We already calculated. So R1 plus R2 is equal to 17,640. Right? Now, if we consider the rotational equilibrium, well, how we can calculate the rotational equilibrium? Rotational equilibrium, that means the body is in the rotational equilibrium if the resultant torque acting on the body is 0. So we take a sigma tau is equal to 0. So here the W force is on the center of gravity. So distance of the force W from the center of gravity is 0. So we take W into 0. Second force is the R1. So R1 force is exerted at a distance 1.05 meter from the center of gravity. So we take a torque on the R1 due to R1 into 1.05 minus on the other side. R2 is on the other side of the center of gravity. So we take a minus R2 into 1.8 minus 1.05, that is the 0.75 meter distance. So W into 0, right? R1 into 1.05, R2 into minus R2 into 0.75 is equal to 0. We get the another equation. So 1.05 R1 minus 0.75 R2 is equal to 0. So by solving this equation with the help of the eliminating method, multiply this equation by 0.72 and adding in this equation, we get R1 and R2, right? So you have to solve by yourself. R1 plus R2 is equal to 17,640 and 1.05 R1 minus 0.75 R2 is equal to 0. And solve this equation by the elimination method, you get the R1 and R2, right? Understand? this example. Now exercise 7.10. Let us see the statement of exercise 7.10. Find the moment of inertia of the sphere about the tangent to the sphere. Given the moment of inertia of the sphere about any of its diameter to be 2 by 5 mr square, where m is the mass of the sphere and r is the radius of the sphere. So let us see this first part of the 7.10. In that, the moment of inertia of the sphere about its diameter is given to you, 2 by 5 mr square. We need to find the moment of inertia of the sphere about the tangent. So let us see the solution of this. So here the moment of inertia about the diameter is given to you. We have to find the moment of inertia about the tangent. So we use here parallel axis theorem, right? What is the parallel axis theorem? I is equal to IC plus m d square. So moment of inertia of the sphere about its diameter, I diameter is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. According to the parallel axis theorem, I is equal to IC plus m d square. D is the distance between the two parallel axes. So here the distance between two parallel axes is a r, right? So I diameter plus mr square. So I diameter, moment of inertia about a diametrical axis is 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square. We get I is equal to 7 by 5 mr square. So moment of inertia of the sphere about the axis passing through its tangent is I is equal to 7 by 5 mr square. Now second part is that given the moment of inertia of the disk of a mass m and radius r about any of its diameter is to be mr square by 4. So here the moment of inertia of the disk about its diameter to be a mr square by 4. Find its moment of inertia about an axis normal to the disk and passing through a point on its edge. So we need to find the moment of inertia about the axis normal to the disk and passing through a point on its edge. That is the tangent, right? Moment of inertia about a tangent. So let us see the solution. So here in the case of the disk, the moment of inertia about any diameter is given to you mr square by 4. Now we know that the moment of inertia of any axis Iy is equal to Ix plus Iz. So here if we consider the Iy is the y-axis is the moment of inertia of passing through the center and perpendicular to the disk, right? So this one Iy is equal to Ix plus Iz. Ix and Iz both are x and z both are the diametrical axis. So both having the same moment of inertia. So we find the moment of inertia about the axis passing through the center and normal to the disk Iy is equal to mr square by 4 plus mr square by 4, that is the mr square by 2. Now we know that the moment of inertia of the disk about the axis passing through the center IC is equal to mr square by 2, and we require to find the moment of inertia of the tangent. We use the parallel axis theorem. So according to the parallel axis theorem, I tangent is equal to IC plus mr square. So IC, moment of inertia about the axis passing through center is mr square by 2 plus mr square, that is the moment of inertia about the axis passing through the tangent is a 3 by 2 mr square. Understand? So now we take the exercise example 7.12. Let us see the statement of the example 7.12. A solid cylinder of a mass 20 kg rotate about its axis with the angular speed 100 radian per second. A solid cylinder is given to you. Mass of the solid cylinder is 20 kg and angular speed omega is 100 radian per second. The radius of the cylinder is at 0.25 meter. What is the kinetic energy associated with the rotation of the cylinder? And what is the magnitude of the angular momentum of the cylinder about its axis, right? So let us see the solution. Here the solid cylinder is given to you. The mass of the solid cylinder is 20 kg. Angular speed omega of the solid cylinder 100 radian per second. So solid cylinder rotate with the angular speed of the 100 radian per second. Radius of the cylinder r is equal to 0.25 meter. So from this solid cylinder we can calculate the moment of inertia of the solid cylinder about the axis of the rotation. I is equal to mr square by 2. M given 20 kg into r 0.25 square divided by 2. We get the moment of inertia of solid cylinder I is equal to 0.625 kg into meter square. Now is rotational kinetic energy of the solid cylinder 1 half I omega square. So 1 half moment of inertia I 0.625 and omega angular speed given 100 radian per second. So rotational kinetic energy Kr we find 312.5 joule, right? Third one is the angular momentum. Angular momentum L is equal to I omega. I moment of inertia 0.625 into omega angular speed 100. We get the angular momentum L is equal to 62.5. Write the unit of the angular momentum. What is the unit of the angular momentum? So here you have to write the unit of the angular momentum, right? So understand this example how we can calculate. So in this example, except the solid cylinder, the sphere also given to you. Sphere, maybe a sphere is given to you, maybe a ring is given to you, right? Any of the rigid body is given to you, and this type of the other parameters you have to find, right? Now next one is the exercise 7.14. Let us see the statement of the exercise 7.14. A rope of a negligible mass is wound round a hollow cylinder. Given a rigid body is a hollow cylinder of a mass 3 kg and radius 40 centimeter. So mass of the hollow cylinder is a 3 kg and the radius of the hollow cylinder is a 40 centimeter. What is the angular acceleration of the cylinder if the rope is pulled with the force of the 30 Newton? What is the linear acceleration of the rope? And assume that there is no slipping, right? So here hollow cylinder of the mass 3 kg is given to you. Let us see the solution. Hollow cylinder of the mass 3 kg and radius 40 centimeter, that is a 0.4 meter. A rope of a negligible mass is wound on a hollow cylinder and 30 Newton force is applied to the rope. The hollow cylinder is rotating about its axis. So here when 30 Newton force is applied to the rope, right, at the tangential direction, the cylinder is rotating about its axis. So the moment of inertia of the hollow cylinder I is equal to mr square. M 3 kg and R 0.4 square. We get the moment of inertia 0.48 kilogram meter square. Now to find the angular acceleration we need to find the torque. So torque acting on the hollow cylinder tau is equal to F into R. So F given to you 30 Newton, 30 into R 0.4. So torque acting on the hollow cylinder is 12 Newton into meter, right? So by the formula torque tau is equal to I into alpha. Angular acceleration alpha is equal to torque tau divided by moment of inertia. So torque tau is equal to 12 divided by moment of inertia 0.48. So we get the angular acceleration alpha is equal to 25 radian per second. So now next is the exercise example 7.15. Let us see the statement of the example 7.15. To maintain a rotor at the uniform angular speed of a 200 radian per second, an engine needs to transmit a torque of a 180 Newton into meter. what is the power required by the engine? Uniform angular velocity in the absence of the friction implies zero torque. In the practical, apply a torque is needed to counter the frictional torque. So assume that the engine is 100% efficient, right? So here the angular speed is given to you and torque is given to you. So from the angular speed and torque, we can easily calculate the power by the formula tau is equal to power P is equal to tau into omega. Angular speed omega is equal to 200 radian per second and torque 180 Newton into meter. So power delivered by the engine P is equal to tau into W. So 200 multiplied by 1800, 36,000 watt, right? So this watt we can convert kilowatt also. The power delivered by the engine is a 36 kilowatt.